Itadakimasu!
Ninjakees!
Yo ninjas, welcome back to the show NINJABOX. Ishhh, and what did you eat today? Yes, welcome back to the Manga Works drawing episode. And as you can see in the title, we're gonna draw this girl right here for you ninjas. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Ishhh. So you might have already seen this drawing on one of the latest live streams on Twitch and YouTube, but if you haven't seen it yet, you can follow on Twitch and ring the bell, and subscribe on YouTube and ring the bell to stay notified the fastest for the live streams if you haven't already. So thank you very much ninjas, arigato! So why did I start drawing this drawing? Well, because I had a list to make 3 drawings of a girl, a dude and an animal. So this is the girl, or at least the attempt for it, but I'm not sure if this will be the girl that I intend for that role that I have in mind. So yeah, this will be, I think I will keep it black and white, even though I might color it later. I don't know yet, but for now she will be black and white. What techniques did I use? So I mostly use for this drawing sketching and inking. Yeah, that's it man, sketching and inking. That's all there is to it, you know. You sketch the drawing and then you ink over the sketch, or we'll do it with a light pad, inking over it. That's mostly the process that I use, and I think you can use it too if you haven't already used it, or maybe you do it digital. Well, it's sort of similar, right? You have more layers. You have a layer with a sketch and then you ink over it, or maybe you do it all in one to go, you know, with one line, like Kim Young-gi the legend. That's also a possibility. Yeah, there are many ways to draw drawings like this, but for me, I did sketch and ink. Simple, right? So yeah, you can do it too. Just start if you haven't already tried it out. What tools did I use? For the sketches I use a pencil, a 2B pencil mostly. For the sketching, I learned it in the anime studio back in the good old days, and they used a 2B pencil to make clear lines for anime. And this 2B pencil can be easily erased with a mono eraser. It's also a Japanese eraser, I believe. Mono. You can get it everywhere over there, from at least back then, in convenience stores and such. But this eraser is really good for that 2B pencil. I've not tested many pencils with this mono eraser, but sometimes I know from the past when I used to sketch with pencil and stuff, some of the pencils smudge more. Like maybe that's good for live drawings, like you draw models, like a fat woman or a thin woman or a man with a dicks out there, and then you have to nude draw them. Maybe that's good for those types of drawings for practice, but for this one I need a more clean pencil. At least for the 2B pencil, that works for me so far. Maybe some other ones work as well. You know, you don't have to be expensive to draw great. You know, it's not the tool that makes your drawing great, but you, the artist. But for me, I just personally enjoy a 2B pencil to draw with it, and yeah, it can easily be erased with a mono eraser. And that's also a thing that I use, a mono eraser. And I also have different types of mono erasers, like you have the more normal eraser, but then also the thin ones like a pen, so you can erase the details better because you have a smaller focus point with that eraser pencil kind of thing. Next to that, for the inking, I mostly use the G pen for the main lines, and you can also pressure use it. Like by pressure I mean the amount of pressure you put on it with strength in your fingers, the thicker the lines will get, or thinner if you use less pressure. But don't use too much, of course, else you will break it. And next to that you have also the Maru pen, which is for the finer details. It's similar to a G pen, but thinner. So it's, yeah, for the smaller details. To add those on as well. And next to that I have an ink bottle laying here with some ink in there. I also use some fine liners here and there, and an Energel pen. It's just a simple writing pen that I also used for filling up the black parts, or some other parts where it needed to be filled up, or something needed to be added at certain points in the drawing. The thing with the fine liners, there are many types, like the pigment fine liner, Staedtler and such, microns. With those pens, when I already inked with a G pen or Maru pen, when I scratched it on the drawing, you know, because you kind of scratch it in the drawing when you draw with a G pen and Maru pen. But then when I go over with fine liners at the same places where that was already inked, sometimes it doesn't really stick, you know, it doesn't really get on paper nicely. It gets a bit, how do you say it? It doesn't merge nicely with each other sometimes with the smaller details when I want to fill up the black parts or whatever with fine liners on the G pen or Maru pen. So I also have a simple Energel pen. Mostly I use this to write. It's a simple pen, but since I ever bought it, since then I really enjoy that pen, and it's kind of more ink. It gets more juice out of it. Basically, it's more wet, so it is easier for it to stick with the Maru and G pen lines, and that's why I enjoy using that pen. You can also use a brush or something like that, but for this one I just did it like that. I'm not sure if it will work with markers, but in this drawing I didn't use markers, and even if I use markers, I mostly make a copy of the inked drawing on Copic marker paper, so you don't have that issue in that process for, you know, sticking markers on the Energel pen or the fine liner pen, Maru pen or G pen lines. So those are mostly the inking tools that I used, and next to that I also use acrylic titanium white for the highlights, some white stuff, maybe also some Typex, you know, when you erase your text back in high school or whatever, or maybe you still do it, or yeah, I guess now it's more digital, so maybe people don't write anymore in school, I don't know, since you know, technology. But back in the good old days, yeah, you could use that stuff, that white stuff. Fluid Classic, in my case, it's a simple, you know, writing corrector normally, but you can also use it for drawing. But I mostly use the acrylic titanium white, and because I have a bottle this time that's fluid, not dried up, I can dip in old G pen nips. You can also use new ones probably, or other things. You can just dip it in there, and yeah, you can just draw over it. Sometimes it doesn't really stick that nicely all the time, but it kind of, yeah, it did work here and there. Sometimes you have to add a bit more white stuff on it from the acrylic titanium white. And because it's fluid, it's better. I also used to have like a hard white thing, and then you have to add water with it to make it fluid. But since I got this one and I remembered that I had it, this works nicely. Next to that, when I start drawing these drawings, I also just use mostly normal paper. I enjoy drawing on normal paper, and when inking it on 160 grams paper. Mostly all it's A4 sized, because that's the common paper used here. Normal printer papers here A4 size. Because of that, I also ink mostly on A4 sized thicker paper. But with manga, Shonen Jump manga, it's bigger. But for this one, it's just regular paper and 160 grams paper. Because when you draw with a G pen, Maru pen, and Saji pen, it is handy to use thick paper for your manga drawing tracings when you ink lines over it with a light pad. But that paper needs to be not too thick, so that you can still see the lines of the sketch. Unless you already drew on thick paper, ink on the paper as well over your sketch, and then erase the sketch. But if you don't want to erase a sketch, you need more layers, like digital layers. So what I use for this process, I used one sketch paper for the sketch. No shit, Sherlock. A normal printed paper for the sketch. For the second stage, I use another layer of thick paper, 160 grams printer paper, not too thick, because I had used 300 grams paper back in the good old days as well. But this might be too thick, so that you cannot completely see the lines on your light pad. It isn't an issue if you already sketched on the 300 grams paper and then ink on top of that, and then the next stage erase the sketch lines with a eraser. But for this one, I didn't want to go through the hassle of erasing all those lines, and just did it this way because I just did it this way. I guess I was lazy and didn't want to erase lines, so that can be an option. But sometimes when inking manga pages, you need to sketch on the actual paper and correct stuff to get the final result. So then the sketching pencil stuff is on the same paper as the inking stuff. So yeah, then you need to let the inking dry before you can erase the sketch. But yeah, you can do it all the way you want. But I right now did it separately with different layers. Also near the ending, I was considering whether I should draw something on the noodle cup or keep it empty, but then later decided to draw something on it anyways, because I think it looks better. Yeah, I think it turned out okay, you know. I tried to copy a certain ramen noodle aesthetic. I had a ramen noodle cup in my hands when drawing it. Itadakimasu! Or having it near me to get some reference how such a thing looks like. But not literally copy it, but make my own version of it. Give a little twist on it, you know. Not everything has to be original. When you draw and you don't know what to draw or how to draw something, you need reference how things look like in life, and that's fine, you know. For this drawing I also used a reference of the girl pose, because I didn't want to use a standard girl pose. But I used this Japanese girl, or a picture of this girl sitting on a tree, and copied the pose in a way. I'm not sure if I completely correctly copied it 100% perfectly, but I just imagined how the pose would look like without the clothes on, in a way of body atomically structure. Maybe she's not completely sitting on the cup noodles, but yeah, maybe you don't really notice it. I don't know, let me know in the comments. I am still practicing as a mangaka artist, or aspiring mangaka, someone who makes manga or tells a story through visuals and videos in this case. But overall, I'm quite happy how it turned out. And I think for this piece I will keep her black and white. I might color her later, I don't know yet, but for now she will stay black and white as the final version. So yeah, ninjas, what do you think of this drawing? Or of the design, or of the idea, or whatever? If you have any of those, let me know in the comments for future videos. And let's see if we can make it happen, or not, who knows. And if you want to see this live, when I draw drawings live, you can go to twitch.tv/Ninjakees, follow and ring the bell if you haven't already, and subscribe on YouTube and ring the bell to stay notified the fastest way when live streams are up and running once again. Next to that, you can also go to my Instagram, Facebook and Twitter /Ninjakees, where I most of the times will upload when the live streams are up and running once again as well. And I will also upload my artworks over there eventually. I'm a bit not up to date with my recent artworks, but I'm also saving artworks for videos like these before I can upload them there, but maybe it doesn't really matter. That's a bit of a conflict I'm battling within myself lately, whether I should post a drawing if the video is not done yet, or just post the drawing and later post the video. I don't know. What do you think? Just post the drawing when you have it finished, even if there's not a video done yet, or there's no video at all. And I mostly record my drawing videos on the live streams and then want to make them as videos, but I'm not sure if this is the best way to go about it. But if you enjoy these kinds of videos in some way, just let me know. It's probably better if I talk with it or not. You let me know, ninjas. Do you prefer a drawing video with only music? So yeah, you have like a speed drawing video with a fast music, or a bit longer video where I talk over it about the drawing and maybe some other random stuff. I see YouTubers do this. Like you have some gameplay and they talk about something that is recently new, and the visual is just they playing the game. And I'm like, is that what? That's a thing? You know, like you can put any visual with it and just talk over anything and talk about anything. But yeah, those are some thoughts I have to improve these videos and to keep them entertaining, you know. Maybe I'm too serious here with you ninjas, or not. Let me know. I guess I could make more types of videos, but yeah, like long videos of 4 hours and just with chill music with it. Fast speed videos and talking over videos, or maybe in a podcast kind of way. Yeah, I don't know yet, but those are some brainstorm thoughts that I have. But if you need to have any feedback for me, let me know in the comments. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, press all the thumbs up if you haven't already, and if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe and ring the bell if you want to, and if you want to see more of this stuff. So yes, ninjas, have a great day, week, and if you also draw, good luck with that. And if you do other things, creative or whatever, good luck with anything, you know. Enjoy life, and see you ninjas next time. NINJABOX Ishhh, and see you ninjas next time. Ninjakees out. Ninjakees. thanks for joining once again, Ninjas, NINJABOX, Ishhh, and see you ninjas next time. Ninjakees out.